Hello everyone, let me know if you can hear me as we are ready to begin. Hello everyone, let me know if you can hear me. Okay. Ready to go. Excellent. So today we're talking about property ownership. All right. Who could tell me what are the bundle of rights? Anybody know the bundle of rights? What are the bundle of rights? What do you guys think? Bundle of rights. The right to use, possess, encumber, dispose, do anything you want with it. It is yours. And when you violate an action, there is a loss of one of those rights. All right, the right enjoying possession, the 5 bundle of rights. Good. Who can tell me the difference between real property and personal property? Real property and personal property. Real property and personal property. What is the difference between real property and personal property? Personal property, movable. Real property, immovable. Good job. Give me an example of personal property. Who can give me an example of personal property? So, example of personal property would be a chair. Example of real property would be the house itself. Okay, bed sheets, good. Is there personal property that is actually immovable? What do you guys think? Is there personal property that's actually immovable? What do you guys think? Personal property that is actually immovable. Personal property, a trade fixture. Nice job, Ashal Hernandez. Way to go. Give me an example of a trade fixture. Give me an example of a trade fixture. Give me an example of a trade fixture. A dentist chair, a salon chair. Good. A pizza oven. Excellent, guys. These are meant for a trade for business, and they go with the tenant. For example, the dentist, it goes with the dentist. Excuse me, example, the dentist chair, it goes with the dentist. It's a great job, everybody. So I want you guys to write this down. I know you guys remember personal's movable, and real's immovable. I want you to write down personal property goes with the person. Real property goes with the real estate. Everybody write that in the chat. Personal property goes with the person. Real property goes with the real estate. Can everybody write that down in the chat for me, please? It's really important because sometimes there are examples of things that contradict that personal, immovable, real property, immovable rule. For example, can you guys give me an example of real property that you can move? Give me an example of real property that's movable. So you guys just gave me an example of personal property is immovable, like a dentist chair. Can you guys give me an example of personal property that is actually immovable? Curtains, excellent. A pool covering, good. Excellent, guys. These are things that go with the real estate. But when you sell the property, like keys to a house, good, it goes with the property. Excellent. Good job, everybody. How about we look at the question on the board? How about we look at the question on the board? An instrument that usually transfers possession of real property, but not transfer ownership is A, a security agreement, B, a sublease, C, an easement, or D, a mortgage. What do you guys think? And the answer is B, a sublease. Excellent. A sublease is also known as a sandwich lease. So what is it? What is a sublease? What do you guys know about a sublease? So let's talk about this for a second. There's a lot of good concepts that could come out of this. So what is a sublease? So a sublease, or also a sandwich lease, everybody ready? Write this down, is when the lessor is also a lessee. Is when a lessor is also the lessee. Because you're in the middle. Write down, the lessor is also the lessee. Because they're renting for somebody, but they're also renting out to somebody else. What is the OREE rule? Anybody know the OREE rule? What's the OREE rule? Who could tell me the OREE rule? OR, give or EE, receives. Ready for the song? A one, 2, 3. Lessor, grantor, optionor, vendor, give or the proprietor for your pleasure. Lessee, vendee, optionee, grantee, gives me property, makes me happy. I know the song is stupid and ridiculous. I get it. But you know, when you're taking your exam and you're like, boom, you'll be so happy. Okay, just remember, OR is the give or. EE receives. Okay? Is there an exception to that rule? So a lessor gives a lease to a lessee. A vendor sells something to a vendee who buys it, who receives it. Are there any exceptions to the OREE rule? What do you guys think? Oh, you guys are breaking my heart. Don't write mortgage. Please stop writing mortgage. Please stop it. Oh, stop it. Every time you guys write mortgage, you're breaking my heart. There are no exceptions to the rule. There are no exceptions to the rule. So thank you, Danny Roney. You were the first person to write no. Great job. Why are there no exceptions to this rule? Okay, so you guys mentioned a mortgage. Let's review this because a bunch of you guys wrote mortgage. So let's go over that. When you get a mortgage, okay, what is happening? What is the first step in the process of a mortgage? What do you guys think? So when you get a loan, you know, in simple terms, layman's terms, you get a loan, what's the first step in the process? Okay, so Taryn, we're going to explain it. I'll give you a high five. I'm mentally giving you a high five right now. All right. So what's the first step? So the first step is you give a promissory note. You give a promissory note. All right. So you are the giver. So the mortgagor is the one borrowing the money. And you think OR, but they're receiving money because before they receive the money, they have to give the promissory note, which is the evidence of the debt. Does everybody understand? So when you think of that OREE rule, think of the first step in the process. And the first step in the process is not receiving money. The first step of the process is the giving of the promissory note. At that point, the bank receives the promissory note and then they give the money. Everybody got that? So when you think of a mortgage, you guys think of getting a loan, receiving money. A mortgage is actually not the act of receiving money. The mortgage is actually the concept of making a pledge. Everybody got it? That's why the origins of the term is actually death pledge. Kind of morbid, I know. But if you Google it, like what the origins of the word mortgage is, it's actually death pledge. So you're making a pledge, and the reason it's death pledge, I don't know, something to do with Middle Ages when there was like knights and people had land and the landlords, you know, if you remember where that word came from. Okay? You guys ever see like Braveheart where the guy comes like, oh, my land, and blah, 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 and I'm going to do horrible things to you. So you actually have a pledge. So the mortgage is an important concept. The mortgagor is giving the pledge to the mortgagee who will then lend the money. Everybody got it? So there's no exception to the OREE rule. Okay, it's because of that promissory note. What is a promissory note? Anybody know? What is a promissory note? What is a promissory note? A promissory note is evidence of a debt. It can be as simple as writing on a napkin. Guys, I must apologize. My screen is not going to the next slide. So I'm going to just talk through this today. I hope you don't mind. Don't worry. I have this whole stuff memorized. I've done it like 5,000 times. So we don't have the question on the board, but I want to teach this lesson regardless. Okay? So mic drop, Eminem, 8 Mile. I'm going to freestyle. Woo-woo. Okay. So we talked about the sublease. All right. There's 3 other types of leases you guys need to know for your exam. Do you know what they are? What are the other types of leases you need to know for your exam? What are the other types of leases you need to know for your exam? So net lease is one. Nice job, Stephanie Flores. So we got net lease, gross lease, and percentage lease. Excellent. So there's 4 types of leases you need to know for your exam. Everybody write this down. And if you could, when I say write it down, you can write it on your personal notes, but also write it in the chat so everybody can see. Net lease, percentage lease, gross lease, and sandwich lease, the one we just went over on the board. Okay? And I'll repeat those. Net lease, percentage lease, gross lease, and sandwich lease. Sandwich lease is also known as subletting. Who could tell me which one of those are the most common? Which one's the most common out of those 4? Gross lease, net lease, percentage lease, or sandwich lease? So the gross lease is the most common. That's your average rental. Okay, your average residential rental. You pay a set amount. So when you rent a property, when you live there, that is just a gross lease. You guys got that? A net lease is when you pay for things like tax, insurance, and maintenance. Tax, insurance, and maintenance. What is a percentage lease? Who knows what a percentage lease is? What's a percentage lease? What's a percentage lease? Percentage lease, when you pay a percentage of the gross receipts. Good. Good. You got gross lease, net lease, sandwich lease. Did I go over all of them? I think I did. Right? Good. All right. My dad's visiting from out of town. Brought his new girlfriend. It's always awkward. Do you guys ever parents bring a girlfriend? She's much younger than him. She's 81. He's 86. I know he likes the younger ladies, but, you know, come on, Dad. Be moral. But she seemed nice. Anyway, sorry. They were waving at me out the window while I'm talking to you guys. Okay. He's very excited about his new girlfriend. All right. So now when we're talking about leases, we had some people who wrote estate for years. And I understand why. Because that is a less than freehold estate, and it's not ownership. Freehold estates are ownership. Okay? Less than freehold estates is what? What is a less than freehold estate? Oh, I think I might have got my screen working again. But still, let's answer this about less than freehold estates. Okay, less than freehold estate is like a lease. So there's 4 types of less than freehold estates you guys need to know for your exam. So estate for years is one. What's the other one? So you have estate for years, periodic tenancy, estate at will, and estate at sufferance, right, guys? So what's an estate for years? What's an estate for years? Estate for years is when you rent it out for a limited period of time. So no notice needs to be given. So it could be 6 months. Nice job, boss Dosaya. I apologize if I pronounced that wrong, but great job. All right. It could be 2 dates, like May 1st to June 15th. Whatever it may be. It's when there's a defined period of time. Everybody got that? So estate for years has a defined period of time. Periodic tenancy, what is that? What's periodic tenancy? Periodic tenancy. Now I'll be happy to go over a sale leaseback. Remind me after I finish explaining this concept. So periodic tenancy is when you go month to month, year to year, week to week. It's a reoccurring time period. Okay? Estate at will means what? Estate at will means what? Estate at will means it can end at any time. An estate at sufferance is what? What's an estate at sufferance? Estate at sufferance means you have a deadbeat tenant. They just sat there and haven't paid. So estate at will means they've left without notice. Estate at sufferance means you love them to leave, but they haven't left. Somebody asked, what's a gross lease? A gross lease is just a set amount you're paying every month. Like when you rent a property. I was asked what a sale leaseback is. I'm going to answer that, and then I'm going to do the question on the board, okay? A sale leaseback, I'm going to use the words we learned from today. Everybody ready? Is when the vendor becomes the lessee. Everybody follow me there? The vendor becomes the lessee. Vendor becomes the lessee. What do I mean by that? It means you sell the property, you do not go anywhere, you stay in the property, but you stay as the tenant to the new owner. You start paying rent. Okay, LaShonda says tenant stays longer than the allocated time. That's an estate at sufferance. Okay? So a sale leaseback is when the seller sells the property and then stays as the tenant. Why would somebody do this? Well, this is done for business. One, there's a tax deduction on the future rent. But more importantly, if you believe you got a business that needs a lot of money and you can make a ton of money, one way to get the money is sell your property, have all that cash you invest in your business that you believe in, and then you be a tenant so you don't have to go anywhere. So it could be a smart business move if you think that money that's sitting in the property could be better utilized to grow a thriving business. Okay, so there's lots of reasons people do it, but that's the gist of what it is. Now let's take a look at the board. Many states determine the order of water rights according to which users the waters hold a recorded beneficial use permit. The allocation of water rights is determined by A, littoral theory, B, riparian theory, C, the doctrine of prior appropriation, or D, accretion. The answer is the doctrine of prior appropriation. So the water rights is littoral and riparian, but the actual allocation is that doctrine, okay? As for the littoral and riparian, just remember littoral lake, littoral lake, littoral lake, riparian river, riparian river, riparian river, littoral lake, riparian river, riparian river. Okay, riparian has to do with a moving body water. Littoral has to do with a body of water standing still. Richie Diaz says always choose C. Oh, the always choose C. Yeah, I guess if you don't know anything, I always say if you don't know what you're talking about, just go with the longest answer. Because that usually works. Sometimes I'm curious if you guys just circle the longest answer in the whole exam, how you would do. But let's not play that game. I shouldn't even put that in your head. Now you're going to be like, I think I know the answer, but that answer is much longer. And Joe said, so biggity bobbity boo, forget the word I said. Okay, let's move on to actual learning. This is a good one. Normally, the priority of general liens is determined by the A, order in which they are filed or recorded, B, court, C, order in which the cause of action arose, or D, size of the claim. And the answer is order in which they are filed or recorded. Now, some of you wrote court. Now, what kind of liens are dictated by the court? What's that called? What's that called? What do you guys think? What's that called when the court puts a lien? There's a word you need to know for your exam. Judgment. Nice job, Emma K. Great job. That's called a judgment lien. A judgment lien. Okay. A judgment lien is what's known as a general involuntary lien. It means they're coming after everything, whether you like it or not. Can you guys give me an example of a specific lien? So a judgment lien is a general lien, means they can come after everything. A specific lien means they can only come after one item specifically, whether it's your car, maybe bank account, maybe a house, I don't know. But it's only one thing specifically. So mortgage, mechanics lien, great. Car loan, excellent. Some of your taxes, that's a little tricky. Why? Are taxes a general lien or a specific lien? And why is that a little tricky? Why you got to be careful with that one? So we wrote taxes. Is taxes a general lien or a specific lien? The answer is, it depends. That's why it's tricky. Property taxes are a specific lien. Income taxes are a general lien. So be careful on that one, okay, guys? So income taxes are a general lien. Ooh, I only got 33%. Sure I should be teaching this stuff? What do you guys think? The creation of an easement by prescription is similar to A, adverse possession, B, accretion, C, unlawful detainer action, or D, police power. And the answer is adverse possession. By the way, any of you guys realize when the word is highlighted, it means you could click on it and the definition shows up? How many guys are like, what? Mind blown. How many guys have been using the prep agent program for a while and didn't realize that a highlighted word is clickable? If you didn't know, you're welcome. Tequila Douglas said her test is tomorrow. Any tips? If your test is tomorrow, I would relax. Your mental state now is going to be more important than your knowledge. I mean, honestly, the hours before your exam, are you really learning anything new? Maybe. I don't know. For me, my focus just wouldn't be there. If anything, I'd say review vocabulary. If you guys really determined to study like the day or the hours before your exam, I would say review vocabulary because you could cover the most ground. I wouldn't do practice questions. I would review vocabulary. Okay. By the way, what is an easement? Who could tell me what an easement is? What's an easement? What is an easement? Anybody? So an easement is an encumbrance. Can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. An easement is an encumbrance, the right to cross somebody's property to get to your own. All right, so therefore, what's the answer to the question on the board? Land that is subject to an easement is said to be appurtenant, encroached, encumbered, or restricted. What's the answer? What do you guys think? And the answer is encumbered. I just said it. You guys must know. Who could tell me what is an easement in gross? What's an easement in gross? What do you guys think? What is an easement in gross? An easement in gross is when you're trying to cross a property, but you're not trying to get to another. There's no property you're trying to get to. You just need right to cross. That's right, boss. Desaya, it's not tied to any property. Excellent work. You've been studying. Great job. Okay, so let's look at this. Bill owns an easement in Joe's property land. Bill is not a property owner. What kind of easement does Bill have? A, easement in gross. B, easement by prescription. C, a permanent easement. Or D, easement by necessity. What do you guys think? And the answer is what we just spoke about, easement in gross. Good. Okay, joint tenancy. To create joint tenancy in the owners of real estate, there must be unities of A, possession, time, interest, and title. C, grantees, ownership, claim of right and possession. C, title, interest, encumbrance, and survivorship. Or D, ownership, possession, heirs, and title. What do you guys think? And the answer is A, time, title, interest, and possession for joint tenancy. TIP, TTIP. Tenancy in common just has unity of possession. Joint tenancy has time, title, interest, and possession. Thanks, everybody. I hope it went well. I will speak to you soon. Remember, you can watch this again on the Prep Agent YouTube channel. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Oh, somebody said bye, Stu. This is Joe. You're breaking my heart. It's okay.